The title of today's broadcast is Everything Comes Back to Trust. Everything comes back to trust. So let's just talk about trust. Anxiety, stress, depression, hopelessness, overwhelm, fear, lack of self-confidence, low self-esteem, all of that stuff. Now, let me just put a caveat to that, is that there are chemical things that need to be addressed with some people with extreme depression or extreme anxiety, of course, right? But let's just look at this. Most of the time, let's just take anxiety. Most of the time when you're anxious about something, first of all, it's usually in the future. Let's just say that right now. And that future thinking, what's going to happen about this? Am I going to lose my house? Am I going to get sick? Are my kids going to be safe? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? It's usually the future. Anxiety is usually the future, and depression is usually the past, just so you know. In general, if you have anxiety and you have anxiety issues, it is because you don't trust, and it's not your fault. I love you very much. It's because you do not trust that everything is working out perfectly. And what I said earlier is it's usually in the future, right? So you're not trusting this moment. You're not trusting, first of all, you're not trusting your own capabilities. You're not trusting other people's capabilities. You're not trusting the world's capabilities. You're not trusting that everything is working out perfectly. And that causes extreme anxiety. I've worked with lots and lots of people, hundreds and hundreds of people. And people with extreme anxiety, we all get anxiety. We all get anxiety, of course. We all get contrast, we get anxiety, it's fine. But when it is your MO, as they say, your modus operandi, to be in anxiety, it always comes back to a lack of trust. Lack of trust in the world, lack of trust in yourself, lack of trust in God, lack of trust in others. It's all a lack of trust. All of it's a lack of trust. And what that does is, it doesn't allow you to know what's happening right here, right now. And what's happening right here, right now, not what your mind is telling you, not what your ego is trying to convince you of. What's happening right here, right now at October 29th, 8:25 a.m. Right now, there's nothing to doubt. Because trust is on one end of the stick and doubt is on the other end of the stick. Right? So you're either running your life by doubt or by trust. You can't be running it in between somewhere. Of course, we go back and forth. But you're either trusting or you're not. You're either doubting or you're not. That's just the way it is. It's very clear-cut in that way. It's very clear-cut in that way. Let's take hopelessness. Hopelessness is a lack of trust on a million different levels. And what we're going to talk about today is, it's general, right? Because we can't get into the specifics about what your situation is. But hopelessness spans the future and the past. Because you look at the past and you're like, I never did make my millions of dollars, so I'm hopeless. Oh, I'm never going to make my millions of dollars because I'm already 55. The hopelessness, right? All of that, first of all, it doesn't trust. You don't trust that you not making $1 million by the time you were 50 was exactly the way it was supposed to be. And you don't trust that your future can be different than your past was. Do you get it, everyone? I was telling one of my students the other day, this is a very, very, very important distinction or something to look at in your life when it comes to trust. The difference and the distinction between believing or being taught that what you do is wrong, as not compared to, or believing or being taught to what you are is wrong. Believing or being taught that what you do is wrong, compared to believing or being taught what you are is wrong. Two different things. Both of those things, when you're being taught that, when you're believing that, then your trust in yourself, in the world, in others, goes out the window. Goes out the window. And this starts very, 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 very early. When you're a baby. And when that is not developed, when you're not, how do I say this? When you're not nurtured in a way in your life, very few are, doesn't mean that you can't change it and you can't start to re-heal yourself and transcend all of that stuff. If you're not taught that you are safe, if you're not taught that everything is okay, that your needs will always be met, always, at a very early age, 0 to 1 especially, 0 to 3, a little bit expanded, but those first 3 years of your life, the egoic mind is being developed. And when the egoic mind is developed in that 1 to 3 years, you're either going to live the rest of your life. You can change it. You can either live your life in trust, in faith, in joy and peace and flow, even if things don't work out the way you think they should be, or you live in fear, depression, anxiety, stress, overwhelmment, all of those things. And what your egoic mind tends to do is you're either taught one of those two things. That what you do is wrong, or what you are is wrong. I would say what you do is wrong is a little bit more flexible because you can start to change, you can start to be like, it doesn't matter what I do. But when you are taught at a very early age that what you are is wrong, and that is taught in 50 million ways, you go through your life not trusting. And the most important thing is you don't trust you. It's no fault of your own. Like I said, I love you. This is not to blame you. We're just breaking things down here. And when you don't trust yourself, relationships don't work out. First of all, you probably attract relationships that are similar to your parents. We usually do. Relationships don't work out. Finances don't work out. Health doesn't work out. Expansion doesn't work out. Self-actualization seems very, very, very far away. Right? And when we realize that everything is based on trust, and you begin to develop your trust, guess what?